And good evening, Bahamas. I'm Andrew Nolt. On the broadcast tonight, find out the latest Bahamians to receive the Queen's New Year's honors. Plus, the Vice President of the Christian Council is apologizing for his recent comments over the way some women dress. And we give you the lineup of the New Year's Day Junkanoo Parade.
Our news is brought to you by Alive, the nation's newest and best LTE network.
Good to be alive.
Good evening. Topping the news. 18 Bahamians from all walks of life have been named in Her Majesty's the Queen's New Year's Honours List for exemplary service to the Bahamas. Named to the most distinguished Order of St. Michael and St. George are former Minister of Agriculture Larry Cartwright for services to education and politics. Also included are businessman Mark Holoesco for services to business and to the community, and former Christian Council President Reverend Dr. Ranford Patterson for services to religion, education, and the community. They will all receive knighthoods. Officers of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire are Pastor Rex Major for services to religion and the community, Antonius Roberts for services to education, the arts, and the community, Dr. Robin Roberts for services to medicine, and former Member of Parliament David Thompson for services to the legal community and politics. Members of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire are Elmer Garraway for education, Nancy Kelly for volunteering, Dr. Nigel Lewis for dentistry, community and politics, and Dr. Jonathan Rogers for ophthalmology. Receiving the British Empire Medal are Rodney Ambrister for entertainment and the community, Willis Bain for the arts and community, Llewellyn Cartwright for business, Kendall Culmer Jr. for business and community, Elijah Miller for politics and community, and Quentin Woodside for business and community. Newly appointed Police Commissioner Anthony Ferguson also receives the Queen's Police Medal for services to policing and the community. Now, these honors come just on the heels after members of the National Heroes Committee are calling on government to do away with colonial orders. Meantime, Anglican Archdeacon and Vice President of the Bahamas Christian Council, James Palacios, is seeking to clarify comments he made defending a recent Royal Bahamas Police Force social media post. That post included a Junkanoo safety tip that warned women to dress appropriately to reduce their chances of being assaulted at Junkanoo. Palacios says he still believes the post was, quote, well-intentioned but poorly worded, end quote, and that if you, quote, dress like a prostitute, you will get treated like a prostitute, end quote. But Palacios apologized for the statements that he says could have been seen as victim blaming. He added that how a woman dresses does not give a man a right to assault her.
Let me reiterate. Because a woman is dressed like that, that does not give you any kind of right to do it. Far from it. However, I think the intention of what the police are saying there is valid.
The Archdeacon added that he was never trying to validate or justify the actions of some men, as he insisted any man who sexually harasses or assaults a woman is wrong. Palacios added that it's unfortunate that some men think otherwise.
The more provocatively you dress, the more attention you're drawing to yourself. And men tend to get the impression that if that's how you dress, then that must be how you won't get treated. You're fair game. That's unfortunate. That's a part of the culture where, from both sides, women now have the right. They do it.
Meantime, the RBPF post has since been edited, and police say they are conducting an internal investigation into the matter. Well, in other news, the Bahamian Contractors Association is calling on the government to appoint members to the Construction Contractors Board. The appointment would be the final and much-needed piece to accompany the Construction Contractors Act passed in Parliament last year under the Christie administration. Our Kyle Joaquin tells us more.
Without this legislation that is already the law, it needs legs, though. It needs the board to be put in place so that the act could have its full enforcement ability, and that the Construction Contractors Board go out and do the work which has been legislated and mandated to do, which is regulate the construction industry in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
The bill, which was passed under the previous government but has yet to come into force, will register and license contractors according to capability, experience, and the size of projects they can undertake. This, if enforced, would prevent inexperienced and unlicensed contractors from receiving major contracts. But the act cannot be enforced without the establishment of the board.
The act was passed in June 2016, pre this government coming into power. Now this government has been in power, and we have had good relationships and communication with the Minister of Works, and he has given us assurances that the Construction Contractors Board, which is the final thing he needs to do to ensure that the legislation could do what it is intended to do, which is go out and regulate the industry. That's all the minister needs to do.
Sands said on the bright side, Works Minister Desmond Bannister has been very cooperative with the Contractors Association, having met with its members on numerous occasions. However, the association president says it needs to go past just meeting.
We have met officially with the minister on 2 occasions, and in fact, we've put a letter to him a month ago for a 3rd meeting to follow up on the same point, because it is that important. It's a $2 billion plus economy, and we see there's a lot of happenings inside Abaco. There's a lot of happenings inside Cat Island. There's a lot of happenings, look like it's happening in Exuma. Construction is happening in our country unregulated. That's a concern for the Bahamian Contractors Association, and it is a larger concern to all our members and persons who are interested in construction around the country.
He said it's all about taming the beast of the construction industry and ensuring consumers aren't taken advantage of by contractors doing shoddy work. For our news, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
All right, thanks, Kyle. While the decision to postpone Boxing Day Junkanoo may have stirred up controversy, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture Michael Pintard says early assessments indicate it did not put a damper on ticket sales. Pintard also reveals that the ministry intends on implementing a system to determine Junkanoo's impact on the economy. We get that story tonight from Jasmine Brown.
The Youth, Sports and Culture Minister says while there is no doubt that many people were inconvenienced by the decision to delay the parade, ticket sales did not appear to suffer as a result.
Whenever you make an adjustment, there will always be persons who are disadvantaged, who would have other obligations for the original date. What Mr. Ferguson has said over the last day or so is that for every ticket that came back in circulation, there are more than 20 persons waiting to purchase it.
The parade was postponed from Christmas night to 6 p.m. Boxing Day after Junkanoo groups voted to postpone it even after the Department of Meteorology gave an all clear. The day after the parade, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis called a meeting with Junkanoo leaders and organizers to express his disappointment over the postponement. Meanwhile, while information from ticket sales is still being compiled, Pintard says the fact is more needs to be done when it comes to assessing the real economic impact of Junkanoo.
Going forward, one of the things we are committed to is making sure we can document the impact of Junkanoo, the role it's playing in the society, so that when we talk in future, it isn't anecdotal, storied explanations, but we have statistics in order to assess the economic impact of this art form.
Pintard says he suspects the impact is greater than anyone thinks, as he also insisted it's time Junkanooers get the respect they deserve.
When we're able to do that, this public is going to respect these artists and artisans a lot more, because they would see the role that they play in a very tangible way in generating income and employment in the Bahamas.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
And we'll take a break here, but still ahead tonight. The former Minister of National Security talks about crime in the country. That story and more when our news returns.